Very good afternoon. You're watching the midday news on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Let us take a quick look at the top headlines this hour. Narendra Modi takes oath as Prime Minister for second term at Rashtrapati Bhavan. 24 cabinet, 24 ministers of state and 9 ministers with independent charge sworn in. New cabinet to meet today evening. One-third new cabinet members, first-timers, including Party Chief Amit Shah, former Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar, Nirmala Sitharaman, Smriti Irani, Harsimrat Kaur Badal among 6 women in the council. Allies the Shiv Sena, LJP, Akali Dal, RPI get cabinet berths. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu congratulates Prime Minister Modi. New Council of Ministers extends best wishes to team to ensure inclusive and accelerated progress. Former ministers Arun Jaitley, Sushma Swaraj also extend their wishes. Prime Minister Modi holds bilateral talks with the heads of state of BIMSTEC countries, also holds talks with Mauritian Prime Minister and Kyrgyz President, discusses ways to boost bilateral ties. And top scorer Ben Stokes helps host England crush South Africa by 104 runs in ICC World Cup inaugural match. Pakistan to face West Indies at Fenbridge today.
नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं।
मैं राजनाथ सिंह,
मैं अमित अनिल चंद्र शाह,
मैं नितिन जयराम गडकरी,
वी सदानंद गौड़ा,
Nirmala Sitharaman, do swear in the name of God
All right, a day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Council of Ministers was sworn in, big news coming in regarding the portfolios of the ministers. And the big breaking story that we are getting for you is Rajnath Singh has got the Defence Ministry and Amit Shah has got Home Ministry. Nirmala Sitharaman is going to be the Finance Minister. S. Jaishankar is going to be the External Affairs Minister. Nitin Gadkari has retained Road Transport and Highways Ministry. So this is the big breaking story that we are bringing to you, that of course day after PM Modi and his Council of Ministers was sworn in, portfolios of the ministers, the ministries that are going to be allocated to them has been decided, and PM Narendra Modi has picked his closest aide Amit Shah as the Home Minister in the new government. And this in Modi government 2.0, Rajnath Singh will be the Defence Minister. Remember, in the first government of the Modi Sarkar, it was Nirmala Sitharaman. And now Rajnath Singh will be the Defence Minister. And Nitin Gadkari will retain the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Narendra Singh Tomar is going to be the Agriculture Minister. Smriti Irani will be the Minister for Women and Child Development. Ramvilas Paswan going to be the Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. So these are the portfolios that we are getting. Remember, 25 of the new ministers are of cabinet rank. And PM Modi has picked his closest aide, Amit Shah, as the Home Minister in the new government. Amit Shah has been credited with crafting the party's a significant and magnificent national election victory. And it was expected that he will be given a big ministry. And he is now being given the Home Ministry in the Modi government Part 2. All right, Akhilesh Suman is now joining us on the phone line for more on this story. Akhilesh, now the portfolios of the main ministries are being decided, and Rajnath Singh has got Defence Ministry, Amit Shah has got Home Ministry. Interestingly, Nirmala Sitharaman is going to be the Finance Minister. So interesting mix of ministers that we are getting as far as the cabinet rank are concerned.
It's very interesting, that Nirmala Sitharaman has got finance, and Amit Shah has got home, and Rajnath Singh has got defense, and also surprisingly, Jaishankar has got the external affairs that everyone was expecting and keeping the fingers crossed. So I think it is a very robust, ministry, and the core group that has been created inside the Union Cabinet. And this will be the new CCS comprising of Rajnath Singh, comprised of Amit Shah, comprised of Nirmala Sitharaman, and comprised of Jaishankar. And the type of, steps that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given on the issues of external relationships and also on the issues of economic management inside the country, I think this team is going to be very important for him. And these are the people who are the trusted people of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They have worked very closely in last 5 years, and now they will be working again on the agenda of the new government. So I think the way, that internal situation has been discussed in last election, and also the issue of terrorism has been, one of the major agenda of last election, including the national security and also India's, growth story, as well as India's increasing influence in the world. I think this ministry is going to be create imprint in this term,
and the way Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called the neighborhood heads of governments like BIMSTEC leaders, it also gives a signal that how he wants to create bonhomie with the immediate neighbors and outreach to the external affairs, external relations with other countries. And Jaishankar as a external affairs minister will be one of the major tools of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He had worked as foreign secretary, he has worked as an ambassador in America, he has worked as an ambassador in China, and these are the important countries where Prime Minister Narendra Modi has to give stress. And also he has been Jaishankar has been very closely working with Russia also in his last term, and that the type of multipolar has been created in the whole world now, that there are so many poles in the world trying to balance the whole situation, a strategic situation, economic situation, the type of fight that is going on between US and China, the trade war, and how India will negotiate and how India will navigate among all these stress and strains. I think this cabinet and this CCS is going to give major, strength to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a scheme of things, both domestically and also externally in the world, Aishwarya.
And very interestingly, Akhilesh, we saw that 3 women of the cabinet rank was sworn in yesterday evening. And out of those, 2 of them, Nirmala Sitharaman and Smriti Irani, have been given very key, important portfolios. Smriti Irani will be the Minister for Women and Child Development, and Nirmala Sitharaman will be not only the Finance Minister, but also the Minister of Corporate Affairs. So very, very important portfolios given to 2 women in the cabinet.
That is what empowerment of women is said about. And in last cabinet also there were stronger women, strong women. You had Sushma Swaraj as one of the robust external affairs ministers India had ever got, and her tenure is considered to be very important, very encouraging, and very enthusiastically she has made the external relations. And now Nirmala Sitharaman being given the finance portfolio, she was always also in the last term she was also Commerce and Industry Minister, and it was told that she had relentlessly fought against the lobbyists in Commerce and Industry Ministry. So I think that was very important in that point of time. And now Smriti Irani coming as a Women and Child Development Minister, I think this is a clear message that how Prime Minister Narendra Modi wants to utilize the capabilities of each of the persons and especially the women, the Nirmala Sitharaman Finance and Corporate Affairs Ministry given, it gives you a confidence that finance is considered to be the main domain. Even though the women control the houses, it is considered that finance, chartered accountants, the financial management are managed by the men basically. But now I think Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to prove that no, it's not the men's domain, it is also women's domain, and women are equally competent, and that is why Nirmala Sitharaman is her experience as a JNU student, her experience as a former Commerce and Industry Minister, and now Finance and Corporate Minister. I think that it will give a major impetus for this new government. And also women and child, the way Prime Minister Narendra Modi had coined the word Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, his major stage in the last 10 years was, how to save the children, the girl children specifically, and how you can empower them, how you can women empowerment. So I think that Smriti Irani is considered to be the best choice for him. I think it is going to have a very good result. Smriti Irani had been very popular among women, also when she was not a minister, also when she was not a politician. Her, her serials, her actings had been very much liked in the country, and I think that in the new avatar, as a women and child welfare minister, she will show her compassion, her concern about the women, about the children, and I think that is why Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given her this portfolio. Swarya?
Absolutely, the giant killer, she has been named. And Akhilesh, last night in a tweet, PM Modi had described his team 2.0 as a blend of youthful energy and administrative experience, and this is something that we are also seeing to be reflected in the ministries that have been given. Amit Shah, of course, has been given a very key ministry. He's the closest aide of the Prime Minister, and he has been credited with crafting the party's this magnificent national election victory as well. And very importantly, as you were mentioning about S. Jaishankar, he is a newcomer to the to Lok Sabha, but he's also been given a very important ministry.
Right. That is how you can say that you should have courage, and you should have a proper enterprising capacity and understanding that which person can be given which type of task. S. Jaishankar has never been a politician. He retired, and then he was keeping silent for some time. Then he joined the Tata Group, and I think it was just a time being. And there was also, talks about his being NSA. But one thing was very clear, that he was very close to Prime Minister during his last stint. And the ambition of Prime Minister and the ambition of S. Jaishankar resemble. I have my own experience with covering External Affairs Ministry, and I could sense that Prime Minister's reverberations are caught by S. Jaishankar. He understands that what Prime Minister wants, and I think S. Jaishankar also had seen the country in a way that India can be in the line of superpowers, being the second largest population in the world, being the biggest open market in the world, and also being the largest democracy in the world. India should have another standing. India should be respected, not only respected, but India should be counted in the most important country in the world. The P5 should be expanded. India should be in the Security Council permanent secretary member. So I think all these ambitions of the country that Prime Minister Narendra Modi also tried his best, and now you can see that in the United Nations all elections India has won, be it yoga thing, be it International Court of Justice, everywhere India has won. So now it is the second stint of Prime Minister with his trusted bureaucrat, now a politician. He will be coming through Rajya Sabha route. I hope that and then he will be working full time now as a politician, as a minister, and he has his own trusted bureaucrats. He has been the head of External Affairs Ministry, and now he will ride on it, and he will let them work according to his own ambitions and according to the ambitions of Prime Minister. So I think the new energy has come in the Union Cabinet. Other than that, there are so many, almost 24 new faces in the Union Council of Ministers. So I think Prime Minister wants to, make a combine of old experiences and the new blood, new ambitions. And that new age, they have their own dreams, how to, build the country, how to build the constituency. And if you remember NDA's meeting, the parliamentary meeting of NDA parliamentarians, Prime Minister Narendra Modi told all the parliamentarians that you are coming as a lawmaker. You are not just a representative of your own constituency, you are representative of the country. You have to think not only from Bihar to Kerala or to West Bengal, you have to think about the country as a whole. You have to think global, how global standing can be doing. And I think with this point of view, he has inducted the new ministers who had even no experience of a ministry, but they have enough experience. Most of them have enough experience of public life. They have been groomed, and I think the way Prime Minister had groomed in his first stint the new ministers, first time ministers, and now he will groom this lot of 24 new faces, and I think he has a long plan how to fulfill the ambitions of the country, how to make the country the way he wants to make the country, and I think that is why he has made a proper combination of old horses and the new faces, you know.
Indeed. So this is the Modi government's new team 2.0. Amit Shah will be the Home Minister. Rajnath Singh, who was the Home Minister in the previous government, will be the Defence Minister. And Nirmala Sitharaman, who is swapping the Defence Ministry for Finance and Corporate Affairs. Remember, she was the first woman Defence Minister of India. Now she is going to be the first woman to become Finance Minister. And very importantly, S. Jaishankar, who was the Foreign Secretary in the previous government, has been appointed as the External Affairs Minister. This is obviously the debut stint, very importantly. And Nitin Gadkari is retaining the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. And Smriti Irani has been rewarded with the Women and Child Development Ministry. Ramvilas Paswan will be the Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. So very important portfolio is now being named. And this comes ahead of the cabinet meeting that is going to be held in the evening today. And this is the Modi government's 2.0. And let's get to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is at the moment holding bilateral talks with the world leaders who gathered in New Delhi for his swearing-in that took place yesterday evening. PM met with Bangladesh President Abdul Hamid just a short while back, and the two leaders held bilateral talks. PM Modi also held talks with the Bhutanese Prime Minister Lotse Tshering. The two leaders discussed ways to boost bilateral ties. And PM Modi also met the Prime Minister of Nepal, KP Sharma Oli, at a Hyderabad house today. Both the leaders held bilateral talks a day after PM Modi was sworn in. PM Modi also held a bilateral meeting with Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Kumar Jugnauth. Both leaders agreed to work together to achieve the shared vision of security and growth of the two countries and the entire Indian Ocean region. PM Modi reiterated his commitment to further strengthening bilateral ties between the two countries in all spheres. And earlier, PM Modi met Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena. In the meeting, Sirisena reiterated his desire to work together to strengthen relations between the two countries for peace, prosperity and security in the region. The two leaders are committed to closer cooperation against terrorism and extremism. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday held wide-ranging talks with the Kyrgyzstan president as well. He is also the current chair of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or the SCO. And the Kyrgyz president, remember, was in New Delhi to attend the swearing-in ceremony of the new government. President Jaishankar warmly congratulated the Prime Minister and reiterated the invitation for him to visit Kyrgyzstan for the SCO summit and also a bilateral visit during 13th to 15th of June. The two leaders held deliberations on diversifying cooperation for the mutual benefit of the citizens of both the nations. And PM Modi expressed satisfaction at the strengthening of bilateral cooperation over the years. He also thanked Jaishankar for attending the swearing-in ceremony and said that he looked forward to his visit to the nation eagerly. And let's get all the updates from Akhilesh Suman, who is joining us from Delhi. Akhilesh, PM Modi right now is holding bilateral talks with the world leaders who had gathered in New Delhi for the swearing-in ceremony yesterday. What more details can you give us regarding the bilaterals?
Right, Aswarya. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just finished all the bilateral talks. Now I am standing before Hyderabad House, and you know that in this Hyderabad House he has met most of the leaders who had arrived. He met Kyrgyz President yesterday. He met Nepal Prime Minister. He met Bhutan Prime Minister. He met Mauritian Prime Minister. He met Sri Lankan President, and also he met one other dignitary. So in that way, you can say that Prime Minister Narendra Modi utilized this opportunity to create one message. And what I am getting from all these meetings from my sources, that growth, mutual growth, anti-terrorism and peace with security in the whole region, where the major thrust Prime Minister Narendra Modi talked to all these leaders. And you know that Mauritius is one important country in the Indian Ocean. You know that all other countries who had come here are the Bay of Bengal, countries, be it Sri Lanka, be it Nepal, and be it Myanmar, be it Thailand. All these talks, Prime Minister has assured them that whatever cooperation you need from India in matters of security, in matters of anti-terrorism, be it in intelligence sharing, be it in whatever manner, and also in development path. So I think the message has gone very broadly. And next month Prime Minister is going to visit Kyrgyzstan, Bishkek, where SCO meeting is there. And in SCO meeting, you know that both China, Russia, India and Pakistan are the permanent members. And I think in SCO meeting also, terrorism is going to be one of the important meetings, because of which the whole area is disturbed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will raise this issue, and now he has one of the biggest tools with him, Mr. Jaishankar, who knows how to tilt the result in his own favor, in the favor of the country, and he is also very ambitious. So I think this SCO meeting, after this BIMSTEC meeting and meeting with the SCO president, I think going to be very, very active and very result oriented. At least Prime Minister Narendra Modi wants to give the message that this is a new situation in the whole region and India will intervene very actively. Aishwarya?
All right. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates there. Thanks so much for joining us. And on to some other news now. Admiral Karanbir Singh took charge as the new chief of the naval staff this morning. And retiring after 4 decades of distinguished service, Admiral Sunil Langba passed on the baton to him at a ceremony in South Block. Admiral Karanbir Singh is the 24th chief of the Indian Navy and the first helicopter pilot to become the chief of naval staff. After his appointment as the Navy chief, Karanbir Singh said that he would aim to provide the nation a navy that is strong, capable, and which is ready to meet any security challenge in the maritime domain. Karanbir Singh is one of the most decorated admirals with several honors to his credit, like Param Vashisht Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Operation Vijay Medal, and Operation Parakram Medal, among others. He has served in the Navy for 37 years. And now cricket news from the biggest extravaganza of the game, the ICC World Cup that is underway in England. England thrashed South Africa by 104 runs in the opening match of the World Cup at the Oval in London yesterday. Ben Stokes starred in all the departments, powering England to a grand win. Winning the man of the match as well. The all-rounder top scored with 89 runs in England's 311 for 8. He held a brilliant catch in the outfield as well and took 2 wickets as well. Jofra Archer took 3 wickets for 27 in 7 overs. Quinton de Kock was the highest scorer for South Africa with 68 runs. The African side managed to pull up 207 runs only in reply in 39.5 overs. And in the second match of the tournament, Pakistan will take on West Indies today at 3 p.m. in Nottingham. And that's the wrap on this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.